Hey folks, how you doing? Let me just make sure that you can comment. Can you let me know that you can see me and hear me in the chat box, please? Just say see you, hear you, whatever it is that you need to do. Let me know, please, and let me see who's here. Hi, Daniel, how you doing? Let me remove the. Hey, Kirsty, how are you? Hey, Joe. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey, Sarah, I can't believe that we're already in February. You realize that, like, that's 1/12 of the year gone, just like that. It's madness. We've only got 11 months left of the year. So mad. And for us Brits here in the UK, we've just finished tax season. So you guys are probably breathing again now. So if you're if you've got through it and you're feeling a bit like, oh my gosh, this is like your first week off and you're really stressed, just sit back and I'll go through how you can make sure that doesn't happen next year. Hey Sarah, how you doing? From Kent. Ooh, I'm from Kent too. Whereabouts are you? I'm in Tunbridge Wells. Where are you, Sarah? So I'm not far from you, I'm sure. Kent isn't that big. So Ashford. Ah, right. Okay. My son went to Canterbury and we used to drive through Ashford to get him to Canterbury Uni. So they got a great shopping centre in Ashford, the outlet centre. I love it there. Absolutely brilliant. All right, fab. Let me dive in and let's talk about how business coaches are stealing your advisory clients. And this is one this webinar is my favorite webinar of all webinars because I feel so strongly about how you guys are missing out on such a great opportunity. And a lot of the time, it's lack of confidence that stops you from stepping into the role that you should be stepping into. And actually, before I dive in, let me know in the chat box. Are you doing any advisory work at the moment? So are you running an accounting or bookkeeping or CFO service and doing any advisory work at the moment? Let me know in the chat box. Or are you like exploring it? Are you new to it? Are you exploring it? Have you been doing it for a long time? Let me know. So Joe says a little bit, yeah. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is why you are possibly not getting the advisory clients that you want to get and how to go out and get them, because there's business coaches out there. And I do actually understand the irony because I am, if you look me up in the yellow pages, I would come under probably business coach, right? I'm a strategist. I help you grow your business. I help you become an advisor. That's all around business coaching. But what I would say is there are people out there who are calling themselves business coaches. They are stealing your advisory clients. And the reason why I'm going to be sharing today and how you can make sure that you go out there and get those advisory clients. Yeah, exploring it, Sarah. Okay, awesome. All right, so let me share my screen. I do PowerPoint slides. Because I do enjoy them. And I like to share frameworks and methodologies. What I would say is I'm going to be sharing with you some conversations that you need to be having with your ideal clients. Maybe your current clients, although a lot of your current clients came to you for compliance. So trying to sell them advisory is not always the best thing to do. You possibly need new premium clients to give them advisory services. But I'm going to be sharing with you some conversations that you should be having, the advisory conversations you should be having. And in those advisory conversations, I'm also going to be sharing how to get advisory clients, what business coaches are doing so that they can charge 3, 4, 5 grand a month for their services, and why you're struggling at 2,000 a year for your compliance services. So there's a lot I'm going to be covering. So take screenshots of it. It is being recorded, but I don't send the recording out. If any of you have to leave early, then you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and I might send you the recording. But don't leave early. Stay, hang with me. It's more fun. So those of you who are new to me, and actually I do recognize a lot of faces. So those of you who are new, I'm just going to very quickly share who I am. My name is Amanda C. Watts. I'm the founder of the Business Advisor Academy, and I specialize in helping accountants, bookkeepers, and CFOs move from a compliance-based accounting and bookkeeping firm into an advisory business model. Now, this can be done in a couple of ways. You don't have to give up the compliance work. I'm a big believer of garbage in, garbage out. So if you're not doing the compliance work, then you need to work with an accountant or bookkeeper that has great books, because great books determine how good your business advisory is going to be. Okay. But I specialize in helping you do that. So we add it on as a different business model. We don't tack it on to compliance work, because they're two different things. They function in two different ways. So I do this by speaking, which is what I'm doing today, by the way, guys. This webinar is classed as speaking. Okay. I do it in coaching because a lot of you struggle with confidence or knowing how to overcome imposter syndrome, all that kind of thing. So I do step into the coaching role. Facilitator, lots of my clients come in and actually share how they're succeeding. So we do quite a lot of masterminding in our groups as well. I'm an author, I'm an advisor, and I'm a trainer. I think my favorite place to sit is in trainer. I love telling people what to do. My mum always said to me that I should be a teacher, and I've kind of ended up being a teacher, which is great fun. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years. I've been in marketing and sales and creating products actually since I was 18 years old. And on Sunday, I turned 51. So that's quick maths. You can work out how long I've actually been doing this. I didn't wake up one day and go, oh, I'm going to help you with this. I've actually been doing it a mighty long time. I've supported over 1,000 accounting and bookkeeping clients across 23 countries, which is pretty cool. And I'm strategy and data obsessed. I believe that without a great strategy, you're going to have really bad outcomes. And without the data, we can't work out whether our strategy is any good. So the two of them need to be combined. Couple that with great advisory work, and we have a very successful business. I run the Business Advisor Academy, which is a business that helps you with sales and marketing to attract premium clients, but it also certifies you as a business advisor if that's what you would like to go down, that route you'd like to go down. We're CPD accredited, and we've gone through rigorous training to ensure that we are able to provide you with a world-class service. And even in my free stuff, do have a listen to my podcast. So the Business Advisor podcast, if you haven't listened to it yet, do go and have a listen to that. And also download a copy of my book, amandasnewbook.com. Dan, I hope you stay as long as you can. It'd be great for you to hang out. And then if you've got to dash off, don't you worry. All right. So I'm a big believer that it's what gets caught, not what gets taught. So I can sit here and I can talk to you for an hour, but if you don't write anything down, if you don't keep the information inside your brain, it's not going to work. So I want you to catch the information, and I will be checking in with you throughout this process. I'm a big believer in making sure that this is a two-way process. Whilst you can learn and you can find out what's going on, it's very important that you engage with me, because otherwise I'm just talking to brick walls, and I don't want to do that. And also for you, you're going to learn loads just by showing up and engaging with me. Please do ask me lots and lots of questions as well. All right. Let me just do a quick check to see who's here. Hey, Kirsty, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Bob, how are you? Deja, Ganesh, good to see you all. All right, let's dive on in. So today's purpose is to answer the question, how can I move the money that my clients spend on business coaches to spend the money with me on business advisory services? So this is a screenshot. This is a couple of years old now, actually. I've spent a lot more money than this now, but this is a screenshot actually from my profit and loss in Xero. And this is a screenshot from a few years of my incomings and outgoings. And what I want to share with you is how much I have spent on audit and accountancy fees versus how much I spend on staff training and consulting, which, by the way, has always been business coaching. So there you can see I've spent 250,000. It's probably at least 300,000 now, actually, because I've been running this webinar for a long time. And in the exact same time frame, I have spent 29,000 on accounting and bookkeeping. Now, to give you an idea of how much I spend about 400 a month on bookkeeping, not including VAT, and about 300 a month on accounting. So that's not very much when I'm spending 3,000 a month on business coaching. So why am I giving my business coach this money? I am not actually unusual in this. This is all of my peers, all of the people that I hang out with who are not accountants and bookkeepers. This is the kind of money they are spending on coaching and not thinking about it. And it's funny because the other day I went to AI and I uploaded my profit and loss from the past 10 years. And the average amount I spend on marketing is about 4% of my costs. However, the amount I spend on coaching is like 15%. Now, the results that I get from my coaching is through the roof, and I do a lot of organic marketing. But the key thing here is my take home is huge. My profit margin is about 60%, and that's because I'm obsessed with the numbers. My peers are out there and they are making a loss. I had a meeting with a friend on Monday. He's made a 40K loss this year because of his numbers. I have other friends who owe money to the taxman and are having to remortgage to pay the taxman their fees, right? Their corporation tax this year and their personal tax. And it's absolutely atrocious that they're throwing money at business coaches, but they're not investing in a business advisor who can help them with this. And this is why I do what I do, because it makes me really angry. I'm very fortunate that I understand numbers, and I will dive into profit and loss, and I'll dive into my accounts all the time. And I actually sat with my team yesterday and went through what our business looks like over the past 10 years and how it's grown and how we had a dip a couple of years ago. And interestingly, how that dip married up with me really hitting perimenopause. Sorry, guys, I know that that's outside your comfort zone, but me really hitting perimenopause and how that affected our revenue and how it affected how I showed up. But I could see it in the numbers, right? And my business coach never looks at my numbers, but I look at my numbers. You have people paying the same amount that I do, £3,000 a month for a business coach, and they never look at the numbers. And you need to step up and do what I do for myself for your clients. And a lot of people say to me, hey, Amanda, you're not an accountant or bookkeeper. How do you know what these businesses need? And I'm like, because I am a business. I know exactly what is lacking. I know where I overcompensate for myself, and I have to look at things for myself. And this is why I want you guys to step into the role of business advisor. You can see I'm getting very stressed about this, of business advisor, so that you can go in and save these businesses. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing with you today why you need to do it. So what percentage of your revenue currently comes from advisory services? Let me know in the chat box what percentage of your revenue currently comes from advisory services. If you just let me know, is it 10%, 5%, 50%? What is it? Now, the reason why I ask this question is because revenue is really easy to make when you sell something that's high value. So I would want, even if you're dabbling in advisory, I would want a quite high percentage of your revenue coming from advisory. So Joe says 5%. Okay, brilliant. That's great. So what I would say there is we need to get more advisory clients, work on the pricing, because really your advisory client should be the profit and the revenue in your business. Yeah, so Sarah, you're giving it away for free. Great. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to wind you up a little bit today so that you never, ever, ever give it away for free again. Okay. But it's great that you are helping clients. And I'm really grateful that the accountants who are giving it away for free are at least giving it away for free. Now, what we need to do is help you monetize that. So this is what I want to share with you. This is where we start to go, why the blimmin' heck are we not showing up and being this business advisor that we need to be? So are you in the UK, a business coach typically charges between £250 and £3,000 per month, but the cost can vary widely. Now, I did all of this research and I actually used a franchise called Action Coach. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Action Coach. Maybe you've even invested in an Action Coach yourself, right? But this is what they say on their website. So you can expect to pay online self-paced learning with no interaction with anyone, right? Expect to invest between 50 to 500 a month. Group coaching, expect to invest between 200 and 1,000 a month for group coaching. One-to-one coaching is 1,000 to 3,000. Now, I can tell you, I'm in a group coaching program and I pay 3,000 a month for my services, for their services, right? Now, here's the other thing that really gets my goat, right? Is they are using the same language that you should be using. So use the Speak with an Advisor tool to reach out to one of our action coaches. So these business coaches are actually positioning themselves as advisors. So whilst you're like, hey, no, a business coach doesn't do what we do, we look at the numbers, business coaches do something completely different. What I really want you to understand is action coaches and business coaches are telling you or telling their clients that they don't need extra help and that they can cover everything. And these businesses are going out of business. 9 out of 10 businesses go out of business within 10 years and 4 out of 5 within the first 5 months. It's absolutely terrible. Joe says, I get referrals from Action Coach. Yeah. So you should be doing everything that Action Coach does. Drives me nuts. So 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. They're turning to business coaches, but they need you. If 50% are failing within the first 5 years, are action coach and business coaches actually doing what they need to be doing? Because otherwise these businesses wouldn't be failing. A business only fails because they're not making enough money, they run out of cash, or maybe they're not great at customer service, so they run out of clients. But the thing that happens then is that they run out of cash. If you cannot make money in your business, if you can't have a viable business model, then how can you survive? You can't. So you go out of business, which means that you need to look at the business model. You need to look at the money. You need to look at the profits, the cash, the cash flow forecast, all of that. And that's where you guys sit, not where the business coach is an expert. You're probably giving all of this stuff away for free. Thank you very much, Sarah. That's exactly what you said. And what we need to do is start charging for it, because business coaches are not doing it. Otherwise, these businesses wouldn't be going out of business. How many of you have this? And I reckon all of you will have it. It's the quick question trap. So 15-minute calls turn into hour-long strategy sessions. Okay, so can I ask you a quick question? It won't take long. Has anyone ever said that to you? Can you quickly let me know? How many of you have had an email? Can you quickly let me know? Can you quickly sign off my mortgage application? Can you quickly let me know what dividends I could take this year? Can you quickly know the best way to extract money from my business? Yeah, right? The 15-minute quick question trap. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is how this shows up in real life, because you're not positioning. This is a positioning problem, by the way. So I have a best friend who is a relationship coach, and for years she's come to me for business advice. And I have a really good business. I'm very proud of my business. And I've told her to take action on many things. I've told her to put her tax aside. I've spoken to her about the numbers. I've got all of these different things that I've told her to do. However, she didn't take action because A, she sees me as helping you guys, not her, because she's in a different niche, right? And secondly, she got the information for free. Therefore, it's like, oh yeah, Amanda's doing okay. Amanda's got a great business, but it doesn't apply for me. I'm not going to take action. So then I recommended that she worked with my business coach friend, and her name's Amy. And she pays Amy over $6,000 a year to give the information that I give her to my friend. Okay. Now, she takes action on what Amy says. People who pay attention. This is so important. People who pay attention. Now, I can guarantee that you're sat here and you are learning from me for free. You're going to take some of it, but because you haven't paid me for this advice, you are probably not going to take action. It might ruminate in your brain, but the chance of you taking action on what I'm sharing with you today is going to be slim to none, because you've not paid me for this information. Now, there is no problem with giving away free advice if it's a way to position you as the expert, which is how I do it, so that you can go, oh, actually, I do get to know, like, and trust Amanda, because that's really important. What we need to understand, though, is if we give away this free information, we have to get paid for implementation. So I don't want you doing all of this marketing and then giving away the advisory for free. I want you to do your marketing and then charge for the actual advisory side. So there's conversations happening in every business. These are conversations I have with my friends, with my peers, everyone. Like, I go into a lot of my friends' businesses and look at their profit and loss. And I do a lot of it actually for free, because they're my friends, but they don't take action because they don't pay me. But these are the conversations that I am having with all of my friends and the entrepreneurs that I work with, and also my accountants, right? And my bookkeepers. So this is the money conversation. And this is the conversation that you own, because you understand the way that a business runs through the money. Then you have to have the strategy conversation, and you need to own this conversation. So you currently own the money conversation. When people say, how much money have I made? What did my year end look like? You give all of that. You might only speak to someone once a year, if that, but you do have a money conversation of sorts. The strategy conversation is something that you should definitely own. This is where you look at helping people create the business that they want. You need to be looking at what their vision looks like, what their values are, helping your clients with this. This is something that is very easy for you to do. You just need to know the process on how to do that. You need to know the right questions to ask and how to ask those right questions. And then you've got the future conversation. And you definitely need to own this. So the money conversation you probably own, the future conversation you need to own, and the strategy conversation you should own this. So I'm going to share with you now how this breaks down and how you can have these conversations with people. Okay. So the money conversation is where you already have authority, but you need to shift from reporting to advising. Now, I just want to share something. Advising isn't always giving advice. Advising is often around asking the right questions. So you don't need to sit there and translate all of the numbers. You need to sit there and help your client in front of you get clarity. So the money conversation, as I say, is where you need to shift from reporting to advising. And I want you to think about, I'm just going to call out a couple of these questions. What questions could you ask your client around the money side of things? And here are some examples. So if cash wasn't a constraint, what would you invest in first? So if I was to ask you, if cash wasn't a constraint, what would you invest in first? Right? And you can answer that question in your head, or you can answer it in the webinar chat. That's absolutely fine. But that's something that you're stuck in your business. You're here today because the title of my webinar is quite interesting, right? Business coaches are stealing your advisory clients. But secondly, you are interested in moving into advisory, or you've moved into advisory and you want to actually make money from it. If cash wasn't a constraint, what would you invest in first to enable you to achieve what you want to achieve? Okay. And then I want you to think about which part of your business is actually losing you money right now. And do you even know that? Do you ever sit down and be your own coach? Like I just said to you, I uploaded all of my documents into ChatGPT. Probably not the safest place to do it in hindsight, actually. But anyway, I uploaded my documents into ChatGPT, and it helped me analyze it. And I asked questions and I looked at it and I got it to go through it and tell me all these different questions, answers to the questions I have. How often do you do that with your business? Do you even show up and be your own business advisor? Now, wouldn't that be interesting if you went, right, the first business I'm going to advise is mine. If I was to sit down and I was going to coach myself to have a successful business, what are the things that I would do? And surprisingly, you will say, I will put together a plan. I'll have a look where I am. I'll have a look at where I need to go. I'll put together some goals. I'll keep myself accountable. These are all the things that you need to do for other businesses, but you can do it for yourself as well. Now, you'll struggle to do it for yourself because you're doing it for yourself. So then it's like, well, who do I need to help me? Do I need my own advisor to enable me to do this? And the answer is yes. If you want to show up and be the best advisor that you can be, then you need to invest in the best advisor that you can afford to have advise you. You learn by spending time with people who are ahead of you on the journey, who have done what you want to do, who know how you are meant to take action. And that's exactly what you need to do. So start with you, be your own business advisor, then invest in your own business advisor, and then become the business advisor for other people. Ask yourself these questions. If you can't think of questions to ask yourself, then you need to learn how to be your own best advisor. Now, let's move into strategy conversations with clients. So this is very high value. If you can help your clients with strategy, then this is really high value stuff. Now, the other thing that I'll say is AI and technology makes compliance much quicker, but it's not going to take over the compliance. And a lot of people say to me, and my business coach says this to me as well, says, oh, Amanda, is the accounting profession going to survive AI? And I believe that the accounting profession will survive AI because we don't know the questions to ask. Well, we do, but business owners don't know the questions to ask to get the right output. So garbage in, garbage out. If you think about how how we've had access to Google, how we've been able to learn things through YouTube. If we don't know how to ask the right questions, we're not going to get the right answers. And this is why accountants are so important, because you know how to do the stuff. We don't want to, as business owners, train to be accountants and bookkeepers. So we still need an accountant and bookkeeper. It will mean that you'll be able to do things faster, but it'll also mean that we know that you're doing things faster. So we won't want to pay as much money. It becomes a commodity. But when you move into strategy conversations, that's actually about human intelligence. That's about you having empathy. AI doesn't yet have empathy. That's about you caring about the person in front of you. That's about you being able to watch the way someone's face changes, if they're going to cry, if they need a tissue, if they're struggling, if they're excited. Chat isn't going to be able to do that. And we need to have personal relationships, which is why business advisory is the future of the accounting and bookkeeping and CFO profession. All right. So as we move into strategy conversations, it's about translating the numbers into strategic insights, at the same time watching someone's face, watching if they're stressed, watching if they're crying, watching if they're happy. It's about making sure that you're connecting with their heart. And something I do a lot with my clients when we create the advisory offering is, how does it make logical sense? How does it appeal to your client's heart? And does it feel right in their gut? And we align all three of those things, which enables you to show up as the business advisor, which means that when they come to you, they're never, ever going to be able to replace you with AI, unless we get these robots that have these human souls, and we know that they're not going to. All right. So the strategy conversation is about you really uncovering something that's very difficult for AI to do. And the reason why is because it's about you connecting with the person. So questions that you could ask are, what 3 things need to happen this year for you to feel successful? Now, if AI was going to ask that question, you would be like, this, and this, and it wouldn't be able to sense check that. It wouldn't be able to see the emotions. It wouldn't be able to see how that person's feeling. It's so important that you understand that advisory is the future for successful businesses, and AI is a tool that you can use when you get stuck, but it doesn't replace that human to human connection. Okay. So which part of your business deserves more attention but keeps getting ignored? And what are your competitors doing that's keeping you awake at night? If you had to double your business with your current resources, what would you do differently? And what's the one decision you've been avoiding making? Now, these questions are going to bring out emotions, and everything to do with AI does not read emotions. It only reads what you put into the computer. So this is pretty cool, right? Because what this means is, as you move into the advisory role, you're going to start to have a real effect on people's lives and change people's lives, as opposed to just reporting on the past. Dan says he'd like a flash car and a fancy office. Okay, yeah, amazing. So now what I'd like to think about is the future conversation. And this is where you become indispensable. And again, you might be like, oh, AI can ask these questions. Yeah, but they can't see people's faces and the emotions behind it. So this is where you earn the big fees. It's like, what does your business need to look like in 3 years to support your personal goals? So for me, I want to pay off my mortgage, right? So I need to go, how does my business need to grow? What do the profit margins need to be? What's the best way for me to take the money out of the business? And this is the key thing, right? Is a lot of people will be like, I need to pay off my mortgage, therefore I need to get 100 new clients this year. Alternatively, you can go, I need to pay off my mortgage. What's the best way to get more profit in my business? What's the best way to extract the profit out of my business? Is paying off my mortgage the right thing? Or should I speak to an IFA and invest that money because my mortgage percentage rate is so low? Like, there's so many different things. Whereas if I went to ChatGPT and said, my business needs to pay off my mortgage in 5 years, what do I need to do? It's not going to look at all the different nuances. And this is the most amazing thing about being a great business advisor. If you're going to sell your business in 2 years, what would we need to fix first? How the hell is AI ever going to be able to help with that? All right. So whilst business coaches are stealing your advisory clients, they are also leveraging AI and saying, hey, AI is amazing, we should be using this. Now, there's actually a rumor going out there, which I don't agree with, but saying that business coaches won't be around in a few years' time. Well, actually, AI can do all the fluffy stuff, but it can't do the deep understanding of what's actually happening in business and a different business model. So this is all the things that you can be helping them with, right? So this transformation framework, those three different areas that you can ask questions around, it shows that you understand business, not just the numbers. It differentiates you from other accountants. It naturally leads into ongoing advisory work. It uncovers problems worth paying to solve, and it positions you as a strategic advisor. You were joking, says Daniel. I don't know. Some people like a flash car and fancy offices. Actually, I've been down that road. I did have the fancy offices, and then COVID hit, and that was the biggest regret ever, because I had really nice offices for me and the team, and they were beautiful, and we had ceiling, full floor to ceiling glass, which is always bad. It was south facing, it got so hot. Beautiful offices, loved walking into the offices. COVID hit, and I'm paying out £1,500 a month for something I'm not even using. So that was fun. And we actually got that through Regis, and they didn't let us off. So that was a very expensive thing. Now we work in our homes, and it's much better. Right, so here's what I want you to do. So choose one question from each part of the transformation framework. So choose a money question, a strategy question, and a future question, and ask your best client this week. Now, I go back to what I said at the beginning, is that a lot of the time our compliance clients won't be advisory clients, but I'd say that your biggest struggle is often around confidence. So you can use your compliance clients to give you the confidence that you know how to move into advisory. Listen for problems that you can solve, and I'd love for you to let me know how you get on with this. So I've run this webinar many times, and lots of you do reach out to me on LinkedIn and send me a message on how it works. Now, because you haven't paid for this webinar, you're probably going to go, yeah, I'll get round to it, and you won't do it. I can pretty much guarantee it, because you've not paid. If you'd paid £100, you might have taken action on it. All right. Remember, business coaches are asking questions, but they don't understand the answers or are able to give insightful solutions like you can. All right, so that's kind of given you a bit of a framework on how you can start having these advisory conversations. What I did say, though, was I told you that I was going to show you how you can move the money that clients spend on business coaches to spend with you on business advisory. So we've looked at what you should do with clients. Now let's look at how to get those clients. So right now, your biggest competitors for advisory are not other accountants, it's business coaches. Business coaches are often ex-corporate managers. Maybe they've done a weekend course to become certified as a business coach. By the way, you can do weekend courses to become a business advisor, and I'm so anti that. It takes time to become a very good business advisor. These weekend courses that show you how to do it, how to become a business advisor in 2 days, a lot of people do those and then they come to me, because you have to go deep to be a business advisor. You're changing your business model. You aren't just showing up as a business advisor. Anyone who says to you, use this piece of software or do this, with your next client, that doesn't make you a business advisor. That makes you an implementation of tactics. Being a business advisor is so much more than a weekend course or a piece of software. A lot of business coaches are motivational specialists, system implementers, or vision creators. Now, we do want to create a vision with our clients, but they can't actually follow through with that. Finance pro is very different, though. You're professionally qualified. How many of you are really, really proud of all the hard work that you've done learning around how to actually do these numbers, how to be an accountant, how to be a bookkeeper? You have years and years and years of technical training. You're really good at understanding the numbers. You're very good, actually, at analyzing strategies, and you're very good at seeing profitability. Now, which one of those? You got the person on the left and the person on the right, right? You've got the business coach on the left, you've got the finance pros on the right. Which one of those is worth £3,000 a month? Is it the ex-corporate person who's done a weekend course, who gets you all motivated? Or is it the one who's got really good technical training, who's really good at numbers, understands strategy, and is really good at profitability? Which one of those is the one? Right, well, we know that it's the finance pros that's worth the £3,000 a month. Yeah, but until you see it written down, you're like, oh no, I can't do this. And I'm saying that with love, by the way, but I do hear it all the time. All right, so let's have a look at how business coaches get their clients. So they go after business owners who feel stuck, companies who want to scale, entrepreneurs who need guidance, anyone who has growth ambition, and those willing to invest in themselves. Now, when you go and get accountancy clients or bookkeeping clients, you're like, hey, I can help you with your bookkeeping. Let's do your year end. Let me help you with your VAT corp tax. Let me help with your payroll. And it's a completely different sell. So the people that a business coach attracts is someone who's a go-getter, who's ambitious, who is excited about growing their business. The people that you attract are people who have to be compliant, who have to dot the I's and cross the T's. And that comes down to your marketing, by the way. Okay, so let's look at marketing, right? Business coaches, they are active on social media. They have a LinkedIn profile. They might be doing Facebook ads. They might be going to networking events and being really present everywhere. They have lots of client success stories. They don't get afraid about shouting how great they are. They offer free strategy sessions so people can experience them before they pay them $3,000 a month. They have very bold promises and guarantees. They are professional. Okay, they show up with great personal branding. They might be featured on podcasts. They might do webinars, a lot like I do, right? This is what you do. You rely on referrals. You have a basic website. You have your LinkedIn profile. You belong to professional associations. You give technical updates when you send emails out to people. You're compliance focused and you wait for clients to come to you. Again, this is why business coaches are stealing your advisory clients. All right. Basic knowledge. This is what business coaches know. Business terminology, possibly trained through doing something like Action Coach. Generic growth strategies. They're using ChatGPT to create their growth strategies. Motivational techniques. They've done a motivational course over the weekend. Basic planning tools. Surface level metrics. This is what you do. Complex financial analysis, true business performance metrics, industry benchmarking. You can tell an industry, you can get a list of every single restaurant that you work with, and you can look at that and go, oh, look at these insights. This is the same thing that's happening across all these businesses that have the same kind of way of working. Okay, you're good at assessing risk. That's your favorite thing, by the way. Tax implications of decisions of what to buy, what not to buy. Should we hire someone? Shouldn't we hire someone? How, like, hiring someone actually has a huge knock-on effect. It's not just, oh, I'm going to give someone 25 grand a year to work in my business. It's then what's the national insurance implication? What's the other implications of all of that? So it's not just 25 grand a year, but people look at it and go, oh, I've got a spare 2 grand. I can hire an admin person. And it's like, should you hire? Should you use a contractor? Let's look at the numbers, right? So you understand all of that. A business coach doesn't. Pricing models. This one's going to get your goat. 500 to 1,000 per session, 2,000 to 5,000 monthly retainers, 10,000 to 20,000 programs, 15,000 to 30,000 masterminds, high ticket group programs for a lot of the time fluff. For you, hourly rates, 25 to 200 bucks, fixed fee compliance work, project-based pricing, annual tax return fees, monthly bookkeeping fees. I can quote off the top of my head how much I pay my bookkeeper, how much I pay my accountant. Okay. I also know how much I pay my business coach. Which one brings me more value? Reality check. Okay. So this is the thing that I really want you to understand. Business coaches are charging premium prices for surface level advice, making recommendations without understanding the numbers. They're creating strategies without the financial validation. So they're not looking at the numbers. I can guarantee that my business coaches have never, ever looked at my profit and loss, ever. Just let that sink in. How can someone be coaching a business if they don't look at your profit and loss? Build unrealistic forecasts, missing critical compliance implications, like how much national insurance we're making, right? How are we going to have to pay? You are sitting on gold mines of client data. You're understanding true business performance. You're seeing patterns across industries. You know what works, what doesn't work, and you have the qualifications to give the advice. So your plan now is to reclaim your territory. You need to go, do you know what? I am going to steal back my business advisory clients. So I've got some actions for you. Do take a screenshot of this one. First of all, I want you to review your top 10 clients' business coach spending. Go on, have a look at what they're paying on consulting, on staff training, calculate the revenue that you're losing, and list the advice that you could have given better. Because I reckon that these guys are paying business coaches and probably aren't even growing their business. Okay. Then I want you to think about your marketing. I want you to rebrand. I don't want you to be an accountant or a bookkeeper as the thing that you lead with. What you need to do is be a profit strategist or a growth advisor and create content showcasing financial impact of those decisions. Share case studies with numbers in them. Don't just share fluffy case studies like a business coach does. Share case studies of numbers, all right? And highlight your unique financial insights. And you'll see out there lots of people saying, lots of business coaches saying, hey, I helped this person increase their revenue. But I know for a fact that increasing revenue by $1 million in a year doesn't come from organic marketing. It often comes from Facebook advertising, and Facebook advertising has very, very little profit in it. And you've got to be super savvy about and have a really solid business before you invest in Facebook advertising. I know because I do that. I have a war chest for my Facebook advertising where the profit on my ads is very, very low. Okay. But because I do other marketing and I understand my numbers, I can actually do that. A lot of business owners will invest in Facebook advertising without the war chest of money and without understanding their numbers. And this is why they go out of business. And then they go, Facebook advertising didn't work, my business didn't work, and they go back and get a job. You need to understand the numbers. You don't have to understand Facebook advertising. You need to be able to translate the numbers to know whether or not their business is going to be successful. So you need to market yourself as someone that can do that. Your service evolution, you need to package your knowledge into premium offerings. Do not just go, I'm a business advisor because I use a piece of software. Software does not make you a business advisor. What makes you a business advisor is how you show up and how you translate things. It's the strategy conversation, the future conversation, and the money conversation. You need to develop growth advisory programs, and they need to be specific and have a transformation. You don't just help your clients set goals. You're helping clients set goals because there's an end transformation, and you need to build profit improvement packages. The positioning shift that you need to have is from compliance to strategy. You need to stop being the historian and move to forecaster, from reporter to advisor, and from technician to strategist. Okay. And then finally, the new client conversations. Before they become a client, I would like you to ask these questions. Who else is advising you on business decisions? How are you validating their suggestions financially? What's the ROI on your current business coaching? And would you like to see what the numbers actually say? These are all ways that you can actually reclaim your territory and become the go-to advisor and stop letting them go back to their business coaches. So let's have a look at the money that you're leaving on the table. Typical business coach, $2,000 a month, pays you $500 a month. Gets advice from the coach, validates decisions with nobody because they have no one to go through it. A potential advisory client can pay you $3,000 a month, gets advice from you, validates decisions with you, and actually implements because it's data-driven strategies. So this is what you're missing out on. 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. This matters now because clients are making important decisions without the proper financial validation, and they're trying to use ChatGPT and they don't know what questions to ask. Garbage in, garbage out. They're paying more for less qualified advice because they are better marketers. Business coaches are better marketers. You're missing opportunities that you can see in their numbers. They're implementing strategies that may harm their financial position, aka Facebook advertising, and getting generic advice when they need specific guidance around the numbers, around profit, around what's working, what products are working, what products aren't working. Now, this matters most because you are the most qualified to give business advice. You're the one who truly understands their numbers. You're best positioned to spot opportunities. You're most capable of validating strategies. Everything is in the numbers. The numbers tell the story. Your marketing doesn't tell the story. Your revenue doesn't tell the story. Okay, you can have great revenue and a really bad business. My friend's had the best revenue she's ever had, but she can't pay the tax man. She's got a business coach. She hasn't got a business advisor. You're already trusted with the most sensitive information. So I want to pause for a moment and I want to ask you what's got caught. What have you got from today? Let me know in the chat box. Bob, Joe, Kirsty, Sarah, let me know in the chat box. What have you got from today? Ganesh. Hey, Ganesh, how you doing? Let me know. What have you got? What's like, and I wanted to kind of just give you a bit of a wake-up call because it's kind of frustrating watching you guys not step into the role that you should step into. What is something that you could action? Could you take the questions from the transformation framework? I think that's very important. Okay. It's so key that you step into the role of business advisor if you are motivated about making an impact. It's not even about the revenue, it's about the impact, because these business coaches that are helping others, the problem is they're not making an impact on those businesses, not in a positive way. Yeah. Sarah says, I find it shocking business coaches are giving advice without looking at the numbers at all. Surely they're one of the most relevant things. They're the only relevant thing. Yeah, you're 100% right. And they do. You've seen how much money I've paid, 250 grand. Especially in these group coaching programs, you never ever share your numbers. Okay, it's never, and if you do share them, it's always revenue. So business coaches sell on, I made this person this amount of revenue. One of my clients, husband and wife team, they came to me with a compliance-based business. And they didn't have great profits. They were working all the time. And this isn't a unique story. It's just that front of mind. Her name's Sam, working all the time, really stressed out. They came to me going, I want to offer advisory. I want to leave this compliance work behind. And they completely changed their business model. And their revenue has not dramatically grown, but their take-home pay has been catapulted. She bought herself a new car this year. Okay. She has worked less. She has a handful of really good clients, but they're paying her $2,000 a month. Whereas before she had the same revenue, but she was working all the hours and her husband was working all the time. They didn't have any time together. Now they're spending time together. Their marriage is better. Their personal life is better. They're happier. Their clients are better. Revenue, not ginormous. I think it's about 150, maybe 200,000. Like, it's not a huge business, but the amount of take-home pay they have and the amount of time that they have and the relationship that they have, husband and wife team running this business, they don't need to hire a huge team. They can run this business on them, have really good profits and take home that money. That's the key thing, right? That's the thing that's important. It's not about the revenue. It's not about I need more clients. I need to grow. It's how much of that do you get to keep? All right. Okay, fab. So hopefully that was useful. If you would like to find out how you can work with us, I just want to share with you a little bit more. If you would like to become a world-class business advisor that delivers a first-class offer, then we can help you with the leading business advisory program here in the UK and fast becoming around the world. We've worked with hundreds of accountants and bookkeepers to take them from compliance-based into advisory-led. Joe has said here, I agree that businesses give advice without looking at the numbers. Almost all of the clients I've had being referred to me from Action Coach end up giving up the coaching because they can't see the value in what they're paying thousands per month for. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So if you'd like to move into that business advisory role, then this is how we can help you. So if you're trapped and exhausted working with compliance work, if you're overworked and undervalued, if you feel frustrated with these business coaches who are giving terrible advice, as Joe says, they will leave the business coaches the moment they can understand the value. So you need to learn how to articulate that value. If you want to have 60 to 80% profit margins with no more team, that's the key thing, right? Get your life back, cut your delivery time down to 10 to 12 hours a week and earn what you actually deserve to earn with your knowledge, your experience, your education. I talk about 3 E's: education, experience, and the essence of you. That's what makes a really good business coach. Without sacrificing your personal freedom, then I can help you. Here at the Business Advisor Academy, you can finally escape from the reactive, low-margin world of compliance and transform your business and your life. So we run a 6-month program. It's an implementation program. It's not a coaching program. There's training in there, but we build your advisory offer out live on calls, on training, and we make sure that by the end of the 6 months, you have new clients, you have an amazing offer. It's an implementation program, not a coaching program, okay? So if you would like to work with fewer but higher value clients, a little bit like I was showing with Sam, if you'd like to earn more and work less, if you want to just spend 10 to 12 hours a week on delivery, then that's what this program does. I want you to think about charging for your true value. Now, you might not feel like you have the value at the moment. You might second guess yourself. You might have that imposter syndrome. So we help you uncover that. We unpack your intellectual property, all of your experience, and we build a business that gives you control. No more being stuck in reactive mode. And the other great thing about it is you can create a lasting legacy and you can grow your clients' businesses with them, and you can make that bigger impact. And as I said, it's not a typical coaching program. It's an implementation program. It's structured. It's CPD accredited. There's a certification process that you go through, and it's designed to take your unique experience and transform it into a one-of-a-kind advisory offering. Not this software where everyone goes, oh, I can bring up this piece of software and we'll use it to help you set your goals. No, not that at all. It's unique. It becomes proprietary. You can trademark it. It becomes something of huge value that you're very proud of. It's your life work put into something that changes people's lives. So unlike other programs, which is a one size fits all, so the software that I'm talking about, how people help you, it's one size fits all. It's here, take this and become like every other accountant and bookkeeper. We extract all of your intellectual property. And I was speaking to a lovely guy yesterday, really, really nice guy. And he wants to do business advisory. And he was speaking to someone who had one of these plug and play advisory offers. And he said it didn't feel in alignment with him because he's quite a holistic guy, really cool dude, bookkeeper and accountant, quite holistic. He loves helping with mindset. He loves the like he's a trained masseuse, and he loves doing all these kind of things, and he wants to kind of put all of this into his business advisory offering, which you can't do when you've got a piece of software and you're trying to do it through that, because it completely ignores your values, what you like, what's unique about you. So you have to create something. And what we do is we uncover what is different about you from every other accountant and bookkeeper out there, and we create something completely unique, which attracts your unique clients to you. No one else will be delivering what you have. It will be completely unique. As I say, it will be tailored to your skills, your experience, and your insights, ensuring that you stand out in the marketplace. If you work with us, you'll walk away with certified professional business advisor status. You'll have the certification. You'll have the certificate. You'll be able to put it on your website. You will know that you've been through a process. We rigorously test you. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard work. The first couple of months can be very much about you diving into your brain and really trying to understand where your experience is and what differentiates you. And I help you with that. You're not left to work that out on your own. I uncover that with you. And as I say, we're CPD credited, 26.15 CPD points anywhere in the world. That's relevant. So we help you create the unique high value advisory offering that's all ready to present to clients. And many of our clients sign their own clients whilst they're still in the program. We normally get about 3 clients within the first 6 months. And whilst I say you should be charging £2,000 a month for your services at least, that might be less depending on your confidence. It might be less depending on what the offer is, but it could also be more. So Karen charges £6,000 a month for her business advisory offering that we've put together, which is amazing. And she works with nonprofits. Before you go, oh yeah, but that's Karen. She works with nonprofits and charges £6,000 a month. Uncovering that uniqueness is what enables you to charge your value. Okay. Clarity and confidence on how to market and sell to your ideal clients and how to use certain tools. We give you the toolkit as well. So we're not asking you to think from scratch. We give you the whole toolkit to be able to deliver advisory, but we weave in your education, your experience, and we create something completely unique. So we give you both of those things. You'll walk away with high value clients that pay you 1, 2, or 5K a month. You'll have access to our proprietary Freedom Hub, and that's very cool. That's we do everything in Google Sheets and Google Docs, so you can make a copy of it. We do things in Canva, so you can change the colorings. We don't keep you tied into software subscription. It's plug and play for the whole lot. It's all yours. You don't have to pay ongoing fees. At the end of the 6 months, you will have created something unique for you and be using our things. We have systems for forecasting, KPI tracking, goal setting for your clients. All of that we give to you, and you get to walk away. We're not trapping you in software, all right? So if you're interested in this, then feel free to book a call. Let me just show you the link where you can book a call with me. What happens on the call is I share with you prior to the call, the investment and how the program works. And then on the call, I'm just going to do a dive to see if we're a good fit. I don't work with everybody. The reason why I don't work with everybody is because it takes a certain kind of personality and a certain kind of experience to be a really good business advisor. So when you come on to the call, it's about me finding out why you want to be a business advisor, how you want to do business advisory, finding out more about why you want to do that, and find out what it is that you would like to really show up and do. And then I'll be able to give you advice on whether or not I think it would make a good advisory offering, what would be missing, what you need to do, what your first actions would be. So the call is very much about me fact finding about you and you fact finding about the program, and then we'll see if it's a good fit. As I say, I do not accept everybody. I would say maybe 3 or 4 out of every 10 people are a good fit for the program. I will tell you if you're not a good fit. And if you don't like the program, you don't have to buy, right? There is no prerequisite of if you have a call with me, you have to buy from me. Not at all. We're literally getting to know each other. The reason why that's so important is because we're going to be spending a lot of time together over 6 months as we work together. So we've got to know and trust each other, okay, and like each other, although know and trust is the most important thing. All right, so I've put a link in the chat box for you to book a call. If you have any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn. And if you would like to explore the certification, then book a call and we can see if it's a good fit. If you've got any questions, let me know. As I said, LinkedIn's the best place to get me. Please don't email me. I don't live in my email. My team look after my email. So please message me on LinkedIn, then I'll be able to get back to you. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you had a good day. And Joe, sleep well because you're over in Oz. Everyone else, if you're based here in the UK, then have an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your week, first week after tax season. You're welcome, Sarah. Do go and listen to my podcast, darling. If you're new to me, I don't know how long you've been in my world, but if you're new to me, then go listen to my podcast, read my book, all there around business advisory. And when the time is right and you feel like you would like to do this, create your own proprietary advisory frameworks and your own offer, then reach out. Okay. All right, Joe, I'll see you soon. See you soon, Sarah. Thanks to all of you who have been engaging. Kirsty, I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Good night, even. Natasha, you too. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.